friends, my name is Miss Caitlin and I am a teacher at the Greater Valley YMCA. And today we're going to talk about the solar system and planets. And after I'm done talking about those planets, we are going to play a matching game. I have a bunch of planets. I'm going to cut them in half. Well, we're going to go over them first and then I'm going to cut them in half and we're going to play a game. Sound like a plan? All right, my friends. So we are going to go over the solar system. I wrote planets in our solar system, and these are all the planets. Well, technically, Pluto's a dwarf planet, but we'll get to that later. So I am starting the closest from the sun. So the sun is in the center of our solar system, and all of these planets revolve around it. So the sun's right here, and they go around it. Okay, so the closest one to the sun is Mercury, and it's small. As you can see, it's pretty. I put it kind of tiny. And I put two facts about each of them. So, Mercury, it's the closest to the sun, like I just said. And it's not actually the hottest. Even though it's the closest to the sun, it is not the hottest planet. Ready? Venus is the next one. And you can see, it's kind of small. And this is the hottest planet. Even though it's the second closest to the sun, it is the hottest planet. And it has no moons. You know, when we look up in our sky, we see our moon. They have no moons. Imagine looking up in the sky and seeing none. That would be weird, right? You would just see stars. The next one is Earth. That is our Earth. And this is the planet we live on. Right now what we're on, this is the planet Earth. That is what we live on. And 71% of it is covered in water. That's more than half. All that water, all the oceans and everything, all of it, we're mostly covered with water. That's crazy. The next one is Mars, which is right here. As you see, it's red. And it has the tallest volcano or mountain, as they call it. I think it's called Mount Olympus. So it's the tallest one out of all the planets as the tallest volcano and mountain. That's crazy. And it has the biggest canyon. A canyon it's basically like a hole in the ground. Maybe you guys have talked about it. It's called the Grand Canyon. We have that on our planet. They have the biggest one. So I'm sure it's 10 times that big. That's crazy. The next one is Jupiter. Now Jupiter is a gas giant, meaning it's big, it's full of gas too. That's why I made it big. And Jupiter actually has 3 rings. They are smaller than Saturn's rings, which is the next planet. But it does have rings. That's one of the facts. It has 3 rings, and it has 79 moons. 79 moons! My goodness, I bet if you looked up at Jupiter, you wouldn't be able to see any stars. You would only see moons. Imagine that many moons. It must be pretty bright at night to see that. The next one is Saturn, which is also a gas giant, just like Jupiter is. And Saturn has those famous rings that everybody knows about. My rings look a little awkward, but they're there. And it has 82 moons. Just like Jupiter has 79, Saturn has 82. That's the most moons. You can't probably see any stars. You only see moons. And it's a gas giant. Even though it's a gas giant, it is very cold. So you would think gas, it would mean really, really hot. It is so cold on that planet. The next one is Uranus. Uranus, say it with me, Uranus. My astronomy professor when I was in college told me that's how you say it, so I'm going with it. Uranus, and it's also called an ice giant. Just like Saturn and Jupiter, they are gas giants. They call Uranus and the next planet, Neptune, ice giants, assuming they're pretty cold. So Uranus does have rings around it, and it is on its side. So you know how most planets are upright? This one's on its side, so it's pretty awkward. I didn't really draw it that way, but it is technically on its side. It has the coldest atmosphere, so the air in Uranus is very, very cold. Very, very cold. You would have to pack your snow pants, your coats, your hats, your mittens, your boots. You need to pack everything. It's very, very cold there. And it has a moon called Miranda that has a very strange landscape, and it has weird patterns on its moon, and it has it just has really weird patterns. In my next video, when I do another activity with the planets, I will talk more about that and show you pictures. Okay? Neptune is the next one, and that is also, like I said, an ice giant, and it does have rings around it. It has quite a few. I think it said it had 6 rings around it. And it has the fastest wind speeds. So even though it doesn't have the coldest atmosphere like Uranus, it has very cold wind speeds. So windy. Oh my goodness. Think of our girls' hair. They would be all everywhere. Your hair would be crazy with all that wind. It's very, very fast. And it's almost like a twin. So even though they don't look exactly the same, I kind of colored them differently, they are almost twins. They're very similar to each other. The next one is Pluto. Pluto is technically not considered a planet anymore. It's considered a dwarf planet, which is just a smaller planet. It's smaller than all the other ones. But Pluto is actually my favorite, mostly because it's very mysterious and it takes a very, very long time to get there. I like Pluto, so I just decided to include him, but keep in mind, not a planet. It's a dwarf planet. So like I said, Pluto, dwarf planet, and it's so tiny. It's so tiny. And it's made of mostly ice and rock because it's so far away from the sun. And it's the smallest planet in the solar system. It's very, very tiny. It has a moon named Charon, and it's actually almost the size of Pluto. So imagine looking up in our sky and seeing a planet or a moon that looks almost as big as our planet. That would be crazy, and I think quite scary. So these are all our planets in our solar system and some facts about them. Let's sit down and I'll show you my memory game we're gonna play. Sound good? Okay.